Greetings, Quester, and welcome to the Quest Report with Matt and Richard.
Hello, and welcome to the Quest Report, and this time we're going to talk about Discworld Ankh-Morpork. So, Matt, can you tell us how the game is played?
This is essentially an area control game, which is card-driven. So, the way this works, each player will be secretly dealt one of 7 identities, although one of them, Chrysoprase, is taken out if it's a 2-player game.
Okay.
So, it's a 2 to 4 player game. The 7 different personalities that you might be secretly dealt gives you your objective for the game, or way of winning. So 3 of those are effectively the same. There is Lord Salachi, Lord Rust, and Lord De Word.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Ankh-Morpork Times.
William De Word's
William
dad.
De Word. Dad. Yeah, so there is these 3 lords, and it's very thematically based, the various objectives for these.
Right.
So for each of the various personality cards. So in the case of Salachi, Rust, and De Word, each of these are trying to control parts of Ankh-Morpork. Doesn't matter which part, it's just how many territories that they control.
So they have to have the most minions in that
minions in one territory to claim control of it. And it's not limited to minions because your buildings count. So it's effectively just whoever's got the most pieces in one particular territory has control of it. So if it's a 2-player game, they've got to control 7 areas. If it's a 3-player game, they've got to control 5 areas. And in a 4-player game, they've got to control 4 areas. And all of these objectives aren't at the end of your turn. You can't just say, well, I've just got my 7th one and now I've won. It's at the beginning of your turn. So if at the beginning of your turn you've completed an objective, you can show your personality card and you win the game.
And this is one of the main things about this game that sets it apart, really, is that your objectives are secret.
Yeah.
So part of it is trying to guess which of these secret personalities, because the back of them it's just like a mystery guy, isn't it? So you're trying to guess what the others might have, and by what they're doing, basically, you can kind of guess who they might be.
I think there are plenty of other games that with like hidden objectives. But what's quite unusual in this is because you've got to make sure you've completed your objective when your turn starts. You can't just go around to your turn and go, I'm really close, so I've got to go all out. You know, in some games you see people and they're about to win because they've on a turn they've suddenly gone crazy and they've taken territories all over the place.
Yeah, you can tell.
And what they're doing.
Trying to do.
On this, it's a little bit more subtle because if people know, even if you've accomplished your objective, you can still end up having a territory taken away. So at the start of your turn, you've lost that.
Because if you've just got one minion in a lot of territory, they'll just take them back quite easily.
That's right. So that's those 3. That's Lord Salachi, Lord De Word, and Lord Rust.
Right, so these lords. Okay.
Then you've got Lord Vetinari.
Whoa!
The tyrant of Ankh-Morpork.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Is amazing in the books. Now, with Vetinari, he's not trying to get control of lots of territories, but it's more thematic to the way he rules Ankh-Morpork. So he's trying to get his minions in a certain number of territories, not to control, but effectively just to keep his information flowing.
Right,
they're like his agents.
Because he's a very pragmatic tyrant, isn't he? Okay.
He wants the city to work, and he wants to know exactly what's going on, preferably before it happens. It's one of the things in little phrases in one of the books, isn't it? That some tyrants manage to know what's going to happen before, very shortly after the event. Some even as it's happening. Lord Vetinari considers both of these to be lacking in ambition. So for Lord Vetinari, he is trying to have minions in a certain number of areas. Now with 2 players, that's 11 territories. 3 players, it's 10 territories. And with 4 players, he's got to have minions in at least 9 territories to win.
Wow.
Then there's Chrysoprase the troll.
Yes.
Mr. Chrysoprase is very upset.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that.
You don't want to hear that from one of Chrysoprase's trolls. Though he is a legitimate businessman.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to imply... the Meddlesome Meeples do not endorse any negative views of Chrysoprase. It has to be stated no.
No, and he will be getting his protection money.
Yeah, he will be getting his protection money promptly. And can I please have my daughter back? So if you're playing as Chrysoprase, I actually think he's probably the toughest one to play as, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But here, at the start of your turn, you've got to have a combined wealth of 50 Ankh-Morporkian dollars, which doesn't sound a lot, but $1 is a lot of money in Ankh-Morporkian
And
money.
that doesn't change with how many characters, how many
so
people
whether
you
that's
have.
3 players or 4 players, that doesn't change. And that can be in dollars in front of you. It can be in in buildings you own on the board. Thing is, buildings can be lost during the game, but I do think that, I mean, I've played this game many, many times. It is the most difficult objective to accomplish.
Right.
So that's him. Then you've got Dragon King of Arms. Now, do you remember Dragon King of Arms from Feet of Clay?
I remember I really liked Feet of Clay, but it was years ago that I read it.
Dragon King of Arms was the guy that dealt with all the heraldry and maintained the records of the lineages of the city.
Right, yeah, I've got the picture of when Vimes went to him. Yeah, okay.
He goes a couple of times and it doesn't go well.
Isn't he like... He's not the one that poses all the animals, actually. Like, he has them all there.
He has got all the animals, like the Ankh-Morpork, the royal hippos.
So he doesn't just imagine them, he actually like makes them do the things. Yeah.
So that's Dragon King of Arms. Now, again, this is very thematic. If you're familiar with Feet of Clay, without going into spoilers, Dragon King of Arms is basically trying to create unrest in the city, so that people will go, "We want a king," and this is one of the recurring themes of the early City Watch novels, wasn't there? That someone was trying to create a situation to get a king. Yeah, but in each case, though, although there's 3 books, isn't there? The first 3 City Watch books all revolve around this idea of creating this power vacuum or this situation where people will say, "We need a king to save us," and in only one of those cases are they thinking of the king in the Watch.
Yeah.
In the other 2, they invent their own kings.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going off topic. Sorry, it's because we love the Discworld. So the Dragon King of Arms is trying to get these 8 trouble markers. Now, trouble markers go on the board through various means. There are the special ability of one
discs.
of the. Yeah, there's a special ability of one of the buildings. So if you've got the right building, you can start putting these down. But also, they appear as minions go into territories where there's other minions.
So they can get caused by people wanting trouble to happen, or if you move a minion where there's already a minion, then trouble will just happen anyway.
Yeah. So and certain effects will cause you to put trouble markers down as well. So they will appear, but it's getting 8 of them to appear that's the tricky part. And again, that doesn't change however many players in the game.
People might know that you might be Dragon King of Arms.
They might get that idea. And then, of course, there is Commander Vimes. Samuel Vimes of the Watch, old Stoneface.
Stoneface.
Yeah.
Don't call him that.
Again, this is very thematic. He wins if you get a deck of cards that everyone's drawing from on their turn. If that deck runs out and no one else has won, he wins the game.
So basically, he's kept the peace.
He's kept the peace.
For the whole
he's
time.
effectively trying to stop anyone else from getting a power grab, anyone else from causing unrest, anyone else from becoming too powerful.
Which is the kind of thing that he would do.
Exactly. You know, so all of these different roles and ways to win are very, very thematic. Beyond that, and playing to your personality card, the game itself is the same for each other player in the sense that you have a hand of cards.
Yeah.
You can't, if you go below 5, you draw up to 5, but you can have more than 5 in your hand. Right. And you just play cards, and the symbols on the card will tell you what that card does. And you can play more than one if you play the right cards that link together, and some cards let you play other cards, and all sorts of different things.
And the cards are mostly people, aren't they? A lot of them are
people and places.
Yeah. So that's very thematic as well.
That's thematic. Now, some of these, so the cards might tell you to put a minion on the board. They might give you an opportunity to buy a building, which will give you different powers and effects. It might allow you to assassinate another minion, remove a minion, move a minion. It might let you remove trouble markers. It might let you draw more cards, discard cards, take money.
You also have to have enough dollars as well, don't you, for a lot of these things. So that's pretty cool as well. You have your cards, but then you also got your little pile of dollars.
Yeah,
so that's pretty nice.
Could be that you can have an interrupt card that will stop someone else's card from taking effect. It could be a card that lets you play another card. It could be an unseen university card, which allows chaos to happen.
Yeah, there's these chaos cards, and that can be like floods or something,
or
can't
earthquakes.
It?
They're generally pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it might be that it's bad for other people and good for you. So
That's what you hope.
That's
yeah.
what you always hope. So the actual gameplay is really simple. I mean, I've introduced people to this game, and they've got it pretty much straight away. I don't think that this is a game that you have to like the theme to enjoy.
Probably not. But it's hard to say though, because like we played it after having read all the Discworld books anyway. So.
But I did. I mean, I've got quite a number of people to play this with me, and some of them like the Discworld. Some of them don't know anything about the Discworld. There are others. I mean, I've got one person to play it with me, and he hates the Discworld. Genuinely hates the Discworld, and it took me ages to get him to agree to try this game.
It's kind of odd that you kept trying to get him to try it.
Well, the thing is, I knew that he'd love the game itself, so I knew once he tried it, he'd really enjoy it, and that's exactly what happened. When he did try it, he actually said, "You know what? I really enjoyed that," and he was quite happy to then play it again. You know, and
I've never known anybody to hate the Discworld, because it's like if you've taken the trouble to read any of it, or if you know anything about it, and you're going to kind of like it, I can't really see why people wouldn't. But also, if I can only see people being indifferent to it.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I don't think he enjoyed the humour in it. Right. It's not his style of humour. But I think also he probably picked the book up expecting it to be a more serious more serious fantasy book.
Right.
And it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that just coloured his views of it, so he didn't like it.
Okay.
But he ended up rather than just not liking it, he ended up absolutely hating it. But as I say, once he played this, he actually really enjoyed it. I think it's one that if you don't like the Discworld stories, the game itself is strong enough that you were still going to enjoy this game. But I think if you like the Discworld or have some knowledge of the Discworld, you'll get so much more out of this.
Yeah.
Because you've got the various, as you say, the cards are people, they're places, and sometimes it's like, oh great, you know, I've got Angua, I've got Nobby Nobs, or the Pink Pussycat Club, or you know, Gimlet's Dwarf Delicatessen, Foul or Ron, cut me own throat dibbler. Yeah, you know, people pull a card and get the peeled nuts and just start laughing. You know, it's a game that if you know what the reference is, you are going to really, really enjoy and get a little kick out of pulling that card out and playing it. And even if you don't, it still, as a game, looks great and plays great. It's simple to learn. It's fast. You can easily have the game of this completed in around 45 minutes if everyone knows how to play it.
Yeah, actually, when we played it last, and the thing I really liked about it is that you and Heather knew it so well. The game just went really, really quickly. I mean, it had been a while since I'd played it, so I had to kind of pick up the rules again. But because you guys were just so confident with it, that happened really fast. Yeah. And it was a really good game. And
it works with gamers of all different skill levels, I find. Whether you're relatively new to gaming, you'll be able to understand this and work this out and enjoy it. And if you are quite an experienced gamer, there's still so much to love about this game and to enjoy. I think one of the things that I like, and I do like it when games do this, is that you get your little reference sheets as well, which tell you on one side, in this case, it tells you what each of the symbols on the cards do, so you can check that out before your turn. You've also got a list of the personality cards, so you know what objectives there are, so you can try and work out what other players are doing. And the city area cards. Now, the city areas, each one has, you can build one building in a city area. Only one person can have a building in a city area, but then for having that building, you get the card, and it gives you an ability that you can use every turn.
So you have a reference of what the buildings do on
so
here.
you can kind of look at these and go, oh right, so I'd like that ability, so I'm going to try and get to that location and build a building there.
And to build a building, you need to not have a trouble marker there.
You can't have a trouble marker, and you've got to be able to afford to pay for the building, and you've also got to play a card with the building symbol on it.
Yeah, to actually do the action of the building.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So you can build a building in an area you don't control, as long as no one else has got a building there and there's no trouble marker.
Right. Yep.
So this is a game, as I say, that, I mean, for me, this is one of my top games. I don't really make like top 10 lists or anything like that. I think I once did a top 20 list, and this was most definitely in there. It's a game I can always get excited about playing.
So one time we're going to do a comparison of different Discworld games, aren't we?
Yes,
there are a few.
If you like the Discworld, there are 5 different Discworld games. There's the Discworld Ankh-Morpork. There's Thud, which is derived obviously from the game
from the book Thud.
From the book Thud and the game they're playing in. So
that's like, rather than being a board game based on Discworld, it's a board game from Discworld, basically. So.
Basically. There's a little puzzle game called Clacks, which is like an abstract game where you're trying to effectively get your messages from one side to the other.
It's like a semaphore internet instead on Discworld. It is a really weird thing.
It is. But it's also the subject of quite a number of stories, or features strongly in a number of the latest stories.
Discworld becomes more advanced as the books go along, which is an amazing thing for a fantasy book, I think.
Then there's 2 other games. There's The Witches.
Right, yeah.
And the other game is Guards.
Oh, right, Guards. Right, yeah.
Which is where it's not as strongly themed. It's just...
We have played that, haven't we?
Yeah.
It seemed a bit more like the early Discworld books rather than the Guards and the City Watch books.
I don't really know why it was called Guards. It could have been anything. I think it was just...
This is a bit more Guards than that. And Ankh-Morpork should have been called Guards. Yeah.
Although, in a way, I mean, the name of this really sums it up, because it is Ankh-Morpork. You've got all these different factions and different elements all trying to do their own thing in their own way of getting power, or in the case of Vimes, to stop other people getting power. And it's just so well themed that it really, I mean, obviously we've got to play some of those other games because we've not played all of the Discworld games yet.
No, not all of them.
But I mean, as I say, this is just one of my absolute favourite games. It's just such a shame it's so hard for people to get these days.
Is it?
Yeah, it's there are copies that go for sale, but I mean, I bought that from my local game store a few years ago for like 30 quid.
The local game store.
Chimera in Nottingham. I'm not getting any money for that, so...
It is a good shop,
but it's a good shop, and I love going there.
Well.
Yeah, and that's it. I take other people there, so I'm kind of sponsoring them. But Chimera, I got this for about 30 quid from there, and I've seen it go lately for £60, £70 second hand.
Yeah.
So it is an in-demand game, and it's not particularly cheap by comparison to what it was originally, but by current prices and what you get for your money, for the fun value of this, for the replayability of this.
So fun per pound.
Yeah, fun per pound. FPP.
It's got an FPP quite high. Yeah.
This is quite high on the FPP chart. As I say, this is just a game I can't recommend enough. What's your final thoughts on this one, Richard?
Yeah, well, similar to you, I haven't played many of the Discworld games, but this is definitely one of the best ones out of all of... Well, it is the best one out of what I've played of Discworld. And yeah, I did enjoy it as a game. And the theme does make it a lot better. So I can't really say whether, if it had a different theme, I would like it just as much. But I think it's just so intricate to it that it doesn't really matter. And yeah, if there's going to be a game based on Discworld, I would want it to be like this, with very minimal kind of what you need to place on the board. It just uses meeples and stuff, and then a little bit more about the cards. I mean, just having a stack like this of cards, all being different characters and places from Discworld, is just amazing.
Yeah.
And to be able to actually have some kind of strategy about how you use it just makes it all the more fun. So yeah, definitely. I love Discworld anyway, but this is definitely a good way of turning that theme into a board game. So, and Ankh-Morpork is such a good city anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, so many stories happened there. I mean, for a while when I was reading the books, I thought they seem to focus on Ankh-Morpork a lot, and it's just that it feels like your home city of the Discworld, doesn't it, really? And so although Rincewind goes travelling all different places, you do think of Ankh-Morpork as being home. So even though it's very grotty and crime-ridden place, but that just makes for a fun game.
But it's Ankh-Morporkian grime, and
yeah, that's it. Yeah, all the roads lead away from it. So I would recommend this one as well.
Yeah. So, and on that note, I'm even wearing my hat in honour of Pratchett today.
Yes, yeah, that's it. So, we've already done some recording today while Matt was wearing the hat, and
I'm not taking it off.
No, I didn't really like to mention it before. So, yeah, good that you've brought it up. So, this is his tribute to Terry Pratchett wearing the hat because he couldn't grow the beard on such short notice.
No, I only had a few hours.
Okay.
The Maples loved that. What are your thoughts? Let us know.
Farewell, Quester. To find out about other productions by the Meddlesome Meeples, then check out our channel or rendezvous with us at meddlesomemeeples.com. Until next time, Quester, farewell and keep thine axe sharp.